going on? Oh, there he goes. Okay, we're
I see your
live.
mouth moving, but I can't hear anything you're saying.
We are live.
Glorious. Alrighty, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the February edition of the Colorado State Executive Board meeting. I wanted to welcome everybody and welcome our guest, Miss Melanie Neal, again. Come and say hi for us. I'm hoping that maybe Leanne and Holly will be able to jump on. We'll give them just a little bit, just so they can introduce themselves as the second VP candidates as well. But starting off, I wanted to call the meeting to order and start by approving the January minutes. Did everybody have a chance to review the January 11th minutes? Any conversation about the January 11th meeting minutes? Can I get a motion to approve the January 11th meeting minutes?
Matt so moves.
Thanks, Matt. Can I get a second?
Scott seconds.
Scott, thank you. All right, all in favor of approving last month's meeting minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Alrighty, the meeting minutes from last month have been approved. With that bit of officialness out of the way, open up the floor to appreciation real quick. Anybody on the meeting have any appreciation that they want to extend to any of the board members, any of the chapter members? Anybody who got any appreciation at all?
I do. I just wanted to give my appreciation to an individual that has been a mentor in my career, not only in the job, but in my life. When I met her 24 years ago, she taught me how to be an EMD. And I'm sorry I don't have the exact numbers of her years of service to this state and to the communities that she worked in. But that was 24 years ago when I first met this individual. And I heard I heard a rumor that she retired last week. I'd like to show my appreciation to the Delta Communications Manager, Connie Johnson. Thank you, Connie. You had a big impact in my life and my career, and I love you.
Hear, hear, and well said.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Connie. Does anyone have any other appreciation that they'd like to voice out? Alrighty, thank you everyone for that. The first item of business that I want to get taken care of is we've got a couple of special guests this morning. I wanted to open up the floor to Miss Leanne Magowski. I hope I'm saying that right, ma'am. And then Miss Melanie Neal. They are both candidates for second VP for the National NENA chapter. So Miss Leanne, I wanted to open the floor to you first if you're available to kind of introduce yourself and talk with the Colorado chapter.
Great, thank you. Can you all hear me okay? I have roofers at my house, so do you hear that background noise? Is it okay?
I think we're good on our end, ma'am.
You all know how it is when you need a roof and everything's behind. When they say, hey, we can come, you say, okay, yes, please. So, hi, everyone. I'm Leanne Magowski. You had it right the first time. Magowski. Everybody likes to add a W into it. That's okay as long as you remember me. Myself and Melanie and Holly are all running for second VP for the National NENA. A little bit about me. I have been in emergency communications all the way through from dispatcher now to director over the last 26 years. And prior to that, I was a law enforcement explorer, which actually led me into this profession. Because as we all know, as dispatchers, nobody says, I want to be a dispatcher when I grow up. It's, I want to be a police officer. I want to be a firefighter. I want to be the president of the United States. Actually, I wanted to be an astronaut. But I ended up in emergency communications. And over the last 26 years, I have completely fallen in love with it. Over the last 6 years, I have been a chapter leader in California. And it really helped me understand the advocacy needs for our PSAPs and our line level dispatchers and the support that managers, supervisors, and directors need to be able to do their job every day. So one of the reasons that I'm running for national office is go ahead and extend that advocacy that I've been doing at the state level in California to the national level. A few of the accomplishments that we were able to secure while I was on the executive board was the first responder status in California for dispatchers. And through that process, we contracted with a lobbyist again for our state. And we were fortunate enough to do that. Not all states can do that, but that certainly helps chapters begin to understand the process that you need to be able to advocate on that state level. We've all been trying on the federal level for many years, and I know we're going to continue. But the great thing is we're all learning and we're all sharing resources. And I believe that that will help us be successful in the reclassification process through the federal level. On the other side of things is the next generation 911. I feel like we've been talking about this for 10 years. It's coming, it's coming. I really think it's coming, or, you know, partially in most states it's implemented. And we're really understanding what I3 compliant or I3 ready is. At least that's what we're learning here locally. So between those two things, those are obviously the challenges at the national level, but it's also about making sure that we advocate for Colorado, for all states, all chapters, and make sure that the needs that we're experiencing in our state and our PSAPs, that we can make sure that we bring to the national level. So, you know, with that, that's why I'm running for national office. And I'm sure other people who run for office, it's a very vulnerable and challenging thing to run for an office. But I do appreciate the time that each chapter has taken to hear us out and to ask for your consideration to be representing National NENA. And with that, unless you have any questions, I'm going to cede the floor back.
All righty, thank you, Leanne. Anybody got any questions for Leanne, Miss Magoski? All righty, thank you so much for joining us today. I now want to open up the floor for Miss Melanie Neal. I know that we've talked with you before, Melanie, but welcome back. We'd love to hear from you again.
Thank you so much, Adam. I appreciate it. I really enjoyed speaking with some of you back in December, and I now see some new faces and names on the screen, so I appreciate the opportunity again today. I want to give a little background on my history in a PSAP. I was actually a deputy sheriff for 10 and a half years prior to starting in the 911 center now 23 years ago. I've been in public safety for 33 years. Once I moved to the 911 center, I fell in love with the 911 world. And I am also now a member of the North Carolina State 911 Board. I have been a NENA member for 17 years. As you can see, unlike December, I am not on the road traveling today. So I am actually home in my home state today. I have been very active in our state chapters of APCO and NENA the entire time I've been a member. I have held state office at the local level several times. Staffing, recruitment, and retention are the primary things that I see the 911 centers need. Like I've said, we are in a critical staffing shortage across the country for 911 telecommunicators. I have fought in the last 6 or 7 years in the 911 Goes to Washington environment for reclassification. We have now done that at our state level. We are waiting to hear back to be recognized as first responders in the state of North Carolina. We are hoping to move that forward. The people in Washington told us when we were denied back in 2018 that the more states that would recognize us, they felt that would help us on the federal level. So we are continuing to push for that. And as you all know, next generation technologies that are coming down the path are going to create viewing of scenes that telecommunicators have not had to do recently. And I know I've got two that have already told me openly that they will not stay here if we start receiving video because they don't want to see that. So that's going to be another staffing challenge potentially that we'll have to fight for. But I also want to advocate on a national level. I have been doing it on the state level for many, many years. And NENA has seen wonderful leadership all of the years that I've been involved, and I want to continue and be a part of that leadership team. Voting actually opens March 15th, so I would appreciate your vote.
Got to unmute myself first. All right. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you for that. Any questions for Melanie? All righty. Anybody from the Colorado chapter got any questions for Melanie or Leanne? Both going out for the NENA National second VP position. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get Holly on the call, so we'll see if we can't get a word from her to blast out to the chapter a little later on. All righty. Thank you both ladies for joining us. We appreciate both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. Now we will move into the rest of the meeting agenda. We'll move into the treasurer's report next. Miss Jody Chin.
Good morning. Sorry, there was a little hiccup with one of our emails. Currently in our accounts, we have $100,373.96. I moved some money from the checking to the savings just to keep that a little bit more separated. In our checking is $5,000.23, and in our savings is $95,373.73. We do have an outstanding check for, I think it was $408. And then Kathy will be stopping by to pay for our storage unit this weekend, because they seem to not be able to get the billing quite right. And I'm guessing that'll be about $750. So we'll ask for a reimbursement for her once we get that taken care of. And that is the current treasurer's report.
All righty. Any questions for Jody on the treasurer's report? All righty. Okay, moving on to, oh, no, I need to approve that. Sorry. I'm a mess today. Can I get a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
This is Kathy. I so move.
Thank you, Kathy. Can I get a second?
Matt seconds.
I heard Matt and Ken. Thank you both. All in favor of approval of the treasurer's report signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Alrighty, the treasurer's report has been approved. I think I need more coffee, so sorry about that. We'll move into committee chair reports. Miss Kathy, you're first on the docket for finance.
I don't really have anything new at this time. Jody and I think, are still working on the credit card for the chapter. I think both of us got waylaid a little bit with just things going on at our centers, but we'll be moving forward with that. That's all I have.
Awesome, thank you.
I'm sorry. One more thing, and I guess I'll need an answer from Ken on this, because I got that check. Sorry, Ken, didn't mean to scare you. I got that check from Motorola for $1,000 for sponsorship. And did we hear what we're going to do with that? Because I thought it had to be $1,200.
I am bugging them for that. They said they are looking for money for even higher sponsorship level. So I'm just waiting on that from them. So that's where we stand.
Okay. Do you guys just want me to hang on to that check for now, or deposit it? What do you want me to do?
Deposit it.
Ken. Okay, I can run to the bank and deposit it. Not a problem.
Yep, and then we'll just figure out what to do from there.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kathy. Anything else?
Nope. Thank you, though.
Wonderful. Since I don't think that and Daryl can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I don't think that the messages go through to the YouTube channel. Just wanted to call out what Ms. Kirkland put in there about being proud of the chapter for bouncing back after the financial mishap a few years ago. I agree. I think that it's really great to know that our funds are in solid hands. I think Jody, Kathy, the entire board has done a great job handling the funds, and Ken, like you said, pushing our industry partners for some higher sponsorships for the conference as well. So excellent position we're in. Anything else for Finance Committee? Any comments, questions, concerns for Kathy or Jody? Moving on to membership then, Mr. Scott.
Sorry, clicking on the wrong button there. I apologize. I don't have much to report on the membership committee. I was kind of down and out for a couple of weeks with COVID, so I'm trying to play catch up with that. But Kimber and I have been kicking around some ideas to get it jump started again. So I will hopefully have more for you next month.
Alrighty, thank you, Scott. Any comments or questions for the membership committee? Alrighty, and then we'll move into conference committee. I don't see a vet on the call. Matt or anybody else on the committee, do you guys want to share an update?
Yeah, I can give a brief update. And anyone else on the committee, if I miss something, don't hesitate jumping in. I think first and foremost, you probably all saw that the schedule's out. We've tried to disseminate that in as many ways as we could. I think we have a very rich schedule to offer this year. Lots of great vendors and also people from within the state. A lot of varied content. I think quite a bit of the items are things that are going to be extremely applicable. So thank you to everyone that submitted stuff. We actually had to turn some calls for paper, proposals away. Everyone that submitted something is presenting. Just some people had offered more than one. We do have a couple presenters that are presenting a couple times, but otherwise, most people will be presenting once. If anyone finds an error or has an issue with the schedule or something, don't hesitate to let me know. But Jennifer has notified everyone that's presenting that they're presenting. So we shouldn't have any hiccups of people not knowing and not showing up. But again, we do have things in the hopper if we have any last minute drops again, like we did last year. So I think we're in a really good place there. As you heard, Ken is doing some really cool work. I can pull up the numbers from Bruce, but long story short, we have things coming in as far as vendors. I think we have 5 or 6, a handful, and seeing some kind supports there. So you'll start to see those logos go up on the website as well. We also will be working with the app, developing that in time for the conference. And then individual people attending the conference as attendees, we've already got those rolling in. So for both pre-conference classes we have offered, we're still trying to solidify the third one, which will be another debrief, half-day debrief, and then the actual conference itself. So some really cool things. Just to push a couple items there as well. Don't start telling people about, because we're limited on the NENA class to 40. So start telling people it's free. If they're members of APCO or NENA, they get to come. So yeah, that's kind of, I think, the main highlights. We've upped the hotel rooms. If people are having issues with the hotel rooms, please reach out. I know they're having another event that will be booked. So I think rooms at the embassy will be at a premium. But there are some other decent hotels in the area. So if you hear from people that they can't get a room at the embassy, there's other close hotels. So, and if people are wondering if the hotels that they're considering are decent or not, let someone in Loveland or myself know, and we can make sure we don't have people ending up in the really awkward places. Brad, what's up?
Yeah, just a huge thank you to you, Matt, and to Jennifer, and to Bruce, and to Ken especially, on the amount of work you guys are doing in the conference committee. This is my first time being on a committee like that, and you guys are doing a ton of work. So thank you guys for that.
Yeah. And I know some other things we're trying to solidify, and thanks, Brad. It's always a great collective effort. And I think in my time being a part of that committee, it's never ceased to amaze me. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing we do every year in that regard. So it's fun to see people come together. And fortunately, we have a lot of newer people kind of on that committee this year. So hopefully you'll start to hear some of those names championing things in years to come. The other thing too, we're trying to also pair the 911 Public Utilities Task Force. Is that the correct name, Jennifer? Or did I just butcher that?
Yeah, the PUC 911 task force. You got it right.
Yeah. So we're going to try to get their meeting to be concurrent with the conference. There are a few shifts too, for those of you who didn't see that, as far as the conference layout, to really encourage some of the decision makers to be able to be present, see the award ceremony. So we've kind of broken the award ceremony for the meeting out. So long story short, look at the schedule. If you have any questions, let one of us know. But I think that's most of the highlights, unless someone else has something.
Any comments, questions, concerns for the Commerce Committee? Awesome. I think you guys are doing a great job. I think that this conference is going to be even more exciting than last year's, and last year's was pretty stinking exciting too. So all good things, all but up. And Matt, if I may mention, the lighting behind you makes you look very regal, sir.
I know, I'm noticing that. Sorry. That's how it goes.
All I get is the reflection off my bald head, so it's okay.
That's what I'm trying to mask.
I was going to say angelic.
Yes. All righty. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Commerce Committee. You guys are doing wonderful things. Miss Ashley Morgan for Outreach.
I unfortunately don't really have an update. It sounds like the people that were in charge that I've been working with at the stadium have changed again. So we kind of start over every single time. And the pricing that they gave me the first time was really expensive. And we barely sold any tickets last time when it wasn't expensive. So I tried to negotiate with her like something lower, and then she left. So I'm kind of back at square one with that. So sorry, we're not doing much with it, but I'm working on it.
All righty. We appreciate it, Miss Ashley. Any questions for Outreach? Moving into technology, Daryl, Patrick.
So this is Daryl. Just to let you know, I am updating the website for the conference page. As I get new material, it is taking me a few days to do it. I've gotten behind on things since being out of the office for a week and a half, so I'm playing catch up right now. So if you don't see it right away, if you send me something, please be patient. But if you don't see it after a few days, feel free to poke me and let me know that needs to get up there. I also want to let you know that Raylene sent me a bunch of new material for the peer support page, so take a look at that. I don't know if it might be appropriate to post a notice to Facebook or to the email list, letting people know that there are additional materials on there for them. But it would be good to get that out somehow. Other than that, I don't have anything. I do see Patrick on the attendee list. Patrick, do you have anything?
This is Patrick. I don't have anything. Daryl, if you need some help catching up on things, just let me know.
Will do. Thanks.
All righty. Thank you, gentlemen. Any comments, questions, concerns for technology? Alrighty, we'll move into education. Miss Kirkland.
I don't have too much of an update after the board gave us permission to work with the mental health first aid group. We are still working on nailing down locations and dates. I actually need to put together a conference call with the two of us, the two of our entities. But we're full speed ahead on that. Obviously, we've got our free class coming for our pre-conference at the conference. But as the board gave us permission to look at bringing another NENA or APCO class to the state, we're working on that. So not a ton of activity in January, but that doesn't mean that things aren't happening.
All righty. Thank you, Jennifer. Any comments, questions, concerns for her?
Can I just jump in, Jennifer? One thing, and it's been a while back, but I know Entrado, out of their building, I think it was Entrado in Longmont, has offered, they have like a pretty decent space. And as far as other things, I know I'll be attending, but just to kind of throw out from an education side of things, later this year, I think it's November, Nina's doing a CMCP class at JeffCom. So make sure you're watching that. I know sometimes it's, and we'll make sure we get that stuff, I'm sure, pushed out, but don't, don't miss out in those opportunities as well. And we'll try to push them in social media as we can too.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate that.
Alrighty, thank you, thank you. We'll move into bylaws. Mr. Harwell.
I don't have a lot. I know Jody and Kathy, I think we're tweaking that one last thing. And as we discussed last month, once we have that and those couple other subtle changes we had made, we're going to kind of do an interim request for approval from the chapter while Brad and I are slowly kind of working through. We haven't made a lot of progress, but now that I'm on paternity leave, I'll have a little more time to look at those type of things. But yeah, long story short, we're going to try to do that big full overhaul and get that shipped out to both the APCO and NENA bylaws groups to kind of review and look at things. It's mostly just going to be, again, some fine tuning, some clarifying and kind of rectifying a few differences along stuff. But we will hopefully, between the work Yvette did last year and the work we're doing this year, see some pretty solid clarifying kind of updates and stuff here before the end of this calendar year.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. Any questions, comments, concerns on bylaws? Alrighty. We'll move into chapter historian. Nate, are you on the call? Oh, actually, Kathy said that he will not be able to attend and that there was no current update with the chapter historian. Pro chart committee, reminder everybody that we are vacant as far as a chair for the pro chart committee. If you know anybody, definitely reach out to one of the board members to volunteer your time for that pro chart committee. Moving into peer support, Raylene, I know she said that she was available via message. Daryl kind of hinted at the update that she gave me. The website has a bunch of resources now for peer support. So like Daryl mentioned, I'm going to put out a blast via the APCO listserv and the NENA listserv. I didn't even think about Facebook, but yeah, we'll put it up on Facebook too, that there are all of those resources up there for peer support. If you haven't had a chance to check out the peer support page, I definitely would jump on there. There's a wealth of knowledge already, and it's ever growing. I know Raylene's got her feelers out and all sorts of stuff, so continue to look for the updates on that one. Any questions for peer support? I know she's monitoring the messages, so if you have any questions or comments for Raylene, definitely hit her up. Alrighty. Moving into TERT, I do not see Linnell. Ms. Val, did you get anything from Linnell?
I did not.
Alrighty. That somewhat wraps it up for the committee chair reports that we have on the agenda. One of the things I wanted to ask Brad and Matt, for the professional development committee, do we want to start adding that into chair reports? I don't know if you guys had found a chair or have the committee stood up past yourselves. Is there anything that you guys have updated or want to update with that?
Yeah, I'd like for us to be able to actually reach out if we would be willing to, as a board, send out a call for committee members for that, and then we can start standing it up from there. And by the next meeting, we'll have a chair and a vice chair and whatever else we need.
Okay. I can send something out through the NENA and APCO listservs if that works for you. If there's any other avenue you'd like me to dive down, I can do that as well.
No, that'd be perfect. I saw that you added professional development to the website. Thank you so much for that. And we're going to start getting resources to that here shortly.
Wonderful. Thank you, Brad. Alrighty, that wraps it up for committee chairs. Next, we'll move into the PUC update. Mr. Darrell.
The only thing I have to note is that the NG 911 strategic planning workshop that we held on February 24th was very well attended, and it was a terrific discussion. I'm still working on the editing the video. I should be able to have that up later today. So I would encourage you to check out the task force's YouTube channel. If anybody needs the link to that, just email me and I'll send it to them. If you weren't able to attend in person or attend live, I do encourage everyone to take a look at it because there's a lot of good discussion about what the future of 911 in Colorado might look like among the attendees and participants in the workshop.
Alrighty, good stuff, Daryl. Any comments, questions, concerns for him on the PUC? Alrighty, we'll move into national news. For Western Director, Mr. Bruce Romero, I don't see you on the call currently. No, I don't see any national representation for NENA at this point. Val, did you get an update from Bruce or anybody?
I did not.
All right, thank you, ma'am. I'll move into the APCO Executive Council update. Ms. Jennifer Kirkland.
So full speed ahead for the national conference, which is going to be in Anaheim. So if you want to go see the mouse, plan to go to the conference. The flash day will be April 4th this year. I think that it's usually on the 1st, but they moved it to accommodate a weekend, I think. So it'll be April 4th, and they're working on getting the program out ahead of that. So be prepared and be ready to take advantage of Flash Day savings. The CPE scholarship program, I think you have until maybe the end of the day today to apply for CPE scholarship if you're interested. Also, APCO's award program is open for nominations. So if you want to submit your award nominations for your people or your teams or your center, that is open for that. And I think that's all that's going on right now. Oh, APCO, if you are an APCO CTO or an APCO CTO instructor, they have a major revision to the CTO manual and program. You can take a free bridge course through APCO to update your certification if you like, whether you're a CTO or a CTO instructor. You must have that bridge course under your belt by the end of the year, or else you will have to pay to take your CTO class again. So I encourage you to get on the website and make that happen if you fall into those categories, or if you are responsible for people who fall into those categories. I took the class yesterday. It's a self-paced class, so you can go through it at your leisure, but you have 3 weeks once you sign into the class to get it done. All the things that might have driven you crazy about the CTO class over the last couple of years have been revamped. They redid the generational thing in particular, took out information on the traditionalists, since I hope that we have no traditionalists in our ranks. Those people have earned their retirement, and they added Gen Z. And by traditionalists, I don't think I'm hurting anybody's feelings. These people were born in the 1920s to the 1940s. So I don't think that applies to anybody either on this meeting or in our centers. But they did update for Gen Z entering the workforce. They added a lot of information about how the CTO has a really important role in setting the culture of the center, and how the CTO is a partner with their trainee for their trainee's success. And really, I think they're trying to get across that training is not a time for hazing and not a time for eating our young, without using those words. But I think they were very effective at it. They added a few more practical exercises and took out the 8th module, which was all a workbook, and they added some of that into the modules themselves. And then they made an entire 8th module on next gen 911 and future technology, and the importance of staying current on that. They did not go into the details on future technology, which I think is smart, because as soon as you do that, it's probably outdated. So I think they addressed it in a high level general way. And overall, I was really impressed with the updates. So I encourage you to check those out. And I think that's all I have for APCO.
Hey, Jen, about how long did that bridge course take?
Well, it took me about an hour and a half, but I will stand here and confess to all of you that I did not read every single word of the material all the way through. I did pass all the quizzes with 100%, so I got the gist, but they provide They provide an entirely new manual. They provide new PowerPoints for the modules. So depending on how fast a reader and how much information you want to take in at one time, you can do it in an hour and a half, or you could take a day or two.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Brad, we've had a couple of our line levels take it well on console, and it only took them a couple of hours while working the console and going back and forth with it. So not horribly long.
Okay, good. I'm just glad it's not like, 4-day class on this.
Unless you really want to read every word.
Over and over again.
Hey, to each their own.
Alrighty. Thank you, Jennifer.
Scott, you got a question?
Yeah, Jennifer, did you get your certificate right away? I'm
No.
still waiting for mine.
Did you do yours the very first class?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sent I was supposed to be in that class and I was slacker, but I did get the email that said, if you finish the class, we'll send out your certificates in a couple weeks.
Okay.
So they're waiting until the class closes, and then they're sending all the certificates after that.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other questions for Jennifer? All righty. Thank you, Ms. Kirkland. Appreciate that. Then we will move into new business. There's nothing on the docket, or nothing on the agenda anyway for new business, but one of the things that I wanted to bring up was the elections. I know Raylene is out working a console, but she wanted to make sure that I rose the flag on elections, that we have until the 14th, only 3.5 more days. We still have some vacancies, so if you know somebody that is willing to serve on the executive board with these great faces and great personalities, definitely let them know to submit their application for that, or their nomination for that.
Adam, can you share with us which positions still need any nominations at all?
Give me one quick second. I can try to figure that out. I did not have that prepped, but I will try to figure it out. I do know that Eastern Regional, I think that we are looking for, no one has applied for Eastern Regional, and I don't think anybody has applied for second VP yet. Raylene, if you're on the messenger, if you could confirm that. I can't find any email. Oh, that is correct. So we're still looking for Eastern Regional and second VP.
All right, all you front rangers, get to recruiting.
Indeed.
Oh, Kathy said she knows of 2 people who submitted for Eastern Region. I know one person that's submitted for either Western Region or Secretary.
So it looks like we got a little bit of chat going on. So definitely continue the recruitment. If you have submitted and haven't got any confirmation back from Raylene, definitely reach back out to her. I know, Kathy, you said that you've had a couple that submitted. So let's reach back out to her, see what kind of involvement we've got as far as Eastern and second VP.
Hey, Val, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but are you rerunning for Secretary?
I did not plan to.
Please.
Okay. Just checking. And I think, and this happens to every single one of us, so this is not a slam, but since we did have that challenge with the incorrect email address, I think it's probably smart if we know of people who submitted to make sure that they resubmit to Raylene with the correct email address, because I'd hate for that to put us in a bind.
Right, absolutely.
And Adam, I didn't get this to Val for the agenda, but I have something to add whenever we're done with the nominations chat.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm done with the elections. Anything that I've got to say on that. So Jennifer, I think I saw your hand raised first, so go ahead, ma'am.
Well, I just wanted to find out if the board had any thoughts on possibly moving our awards solicitation and ceremony to the end of the year, and maybe having our awards given out at our December party event. And the reason I had this idea is because right now I think I have in my inbox at least 3 separate award solicitations. We've got one from NICE, we have one from National APCO, we have one from us, And I just feel like our little old chapter might get lost in the shuffle, or people might be confused about who they're submitting an award for, since we seem to be in the mix with everybody else. And IAED's Dispatcher of the Year. So I don't think we want to change it for this year because it's already out, although I'm certainly open to that. But I wanted to see what everybody thought about maybe moving our awards solicitation to the October timeframe to award in December at our December gathering.
I like that idea.
I also like that idea. I think having it separated from all of the other national ones does keep it less lost. Because I agree with you. I think that at this point right now, there's so many nominate for this, nominate for this, nominate for this. I've lost track of what I've submitted for. So I agree moving it to the end of the year would be a benefit for us. I don't know if this year would be good. Matt, how far into awards are you this year?
Well, that dovetails nicely into what I was going to say. And literally, we brought this up at the conference committee, and sorry, maybe I should have mentioned this when I did during that time frame. But from all of our award categories, including the new Walt Hardesty Award that we added, I have received one nomination for every category, or across the categories, one total, and that was for Center of the Year. So it's tough. I think one thing I found, which aside from just really wanting to push and encourage everyone to reach out, whether it's your own centers in your county, your telephone authority, your neighboring areas, whatever it may be, please let's get those nominations in. The past few years, I think we've had ample nominations, which makes it more enjoyable when we send that stuff off to Kansas for them to actually have things to choose between and deliberate between. And I think, regardless, we still want to recognize. But to Jennifer's point, I fully support moving it as well. I think this is one thing that I kind of brought up to a few people, is it's kind of a unique thing for the second vice president, and all of you now extremely interested in putting your name in for the second vice president. This is helpful that we would move it, because the goofy part of second vice president is you're doing bylaws, awards, and the conference committee, which awards and the conference committee being so closely tied for me this year, and I'm sure Adam and Yvette can speak to this, and even Raylene over the past couple of years, it's a lot when most of us are still doing our full-time job. So I think it would be a great idea. I think for those of us who are helping establish the awards committee stuff, we'd be able to do a better job, and I think it would allow for more input from the chapter. And as a reminder, people don't have to be members of either APCO or NENA to be awarded the awards. It's any buddy in the state. It's pretty clear on the different awards things. Jump on the website. Daryl's got it posted very, very clearly. The different things, it's pretty simple. You fill out the Word document, email it back to the second VP email address. So it's nothing too crazy. But again, I fully support what Jennifer was saying. I think it would be a better way to recognize. Oh my gosh, sorry. The cool things going on in our chapter. How long was I muted? I just realized I was muted. Just a moment.
You're just a moment.
Okay, I must have bumped it. I was like, oh gosh, awkward, but cool. And if anyone has any questions or ideas on award stuff, let me know. But I do agree. I think it's kind of tough to move this year since we've already put stuff out. But we can totally, I think for 2020.
So the only discussion point that I'm kind of curious about is, I know that historically we've not really had a great, or not, I don't want to say great, but had a lot of attendance for the December meeting, just because it is kind of that holiday time frame. Do we think that adding awards into December would lessen the likelihood of people being available to come to any sort of award ceremony or something like that?
I think if we put out information at the state conference in May that we're going to be soliciting for awards in October, and the awards ceremony will be such and such a date in December, so that we can kind of do a save the date thing, then it would probably drive participation in December. And if we can do our December get together, like earlier in December before all the holiday craziness hits, I think it could be really cool. And Matt, do you think that moving the awards would help reduce the pressure on that second VP position so that you weren't doing so much all at once?
Yeah, and I didn't mean to sound like I was complaining. Please, hopefully, no one heard it that way. But yeah, I think it would make it so that the conference gets the full attention, and also the awards gets the full attention. I think it would make for a good thing, and it gives a great avenue if we're keeping our state conference kind of in that springtime. You know what I mean, winter into spring, whatever you want to call it, depending on what the snow does. But it will, yeah, definitely. I think it allows us a really awesome opportunity while we're together to push that, to kind of rally. And it's been, I don't remember what year it was, maybe 2017, 2018, when we did the big thing where we married a NENA course with the December get together at Boondocks in down right outside Denver. I mean, we had a pretty solid turnout there. So I think between COVID and just losing some of that momentum, that's probably what caused more of an issue. But I think we've had some good turnouts when we've offered, like maybe between education, a free NENA course or free APCO course, the the thing to get together, and then the awards at the end where it's kind of clearly scheduled could be helpful. I think it would be a cool idea.
Well, and it also solves our challenge with the banquet on that time, where we're having additional people coming in and paying for food or going to the vendor show or whatever they're doing. If we're not doing awards, we're probably not going to have outside people coming in just for that, which kind of fixes that issue.
That's exactly what I was just thinking too, Brett. So I'm definitely on board with moving it into the December timeframe. As I'm sitting here thinking more about it, with you only having one nomination so far, Matt, how much longer is the window open for nominations?
There's still time. I mean, I guess if we want to try moving it this year, we could. We tweak the conference schedule if that's kind of what we're alluding to. Otherwise, I think it will make it unique regardless of how we do it, because if we're doing the awards this year at the state conference, it probably wouldn't be until October of 2023 when we would do the next ones, which does seem like a significant amount of time. So regardless, we'll just want to make sure we're really communicating that well so people then in 2023 at the beginning of the year don't just totally space it before the end of the year.
Well, but that also gives people time to actually think about what's going on. It gives enough separation that they're not doing all of these, awards at the same time, and maybe we'll get more people interested or trying to apply for those awards as well.
Are there any adverse thoughts about moving it this year to the October, November, December timeframe?
I'd almost rather.
It's kind of what I'm hearing too.
I agree with that. I think bumping it back that's easy.
Okay.
Well, my only concern, I do like the idea overall. My only concern is, have we advertised it for the conference already? I just think it may cause some confusion or maybe frustration. So that would be my only concern with it.
We built it into the schedule, but because we haven't awarded anything yet, I don't think anybody's planning on attending just for the awards, especially since we only have one nomination for like 6 or 8 categories.
Yeah, I kind of agree. And aside from us putting the agenda out, we haven't per se pushed, and we did shift for those of you who I think we talked about the last month's meeting, but we did also shift to make it, instead of during the same day on Friday as the meeting, we moved it to Thursday. So we kind of had already planned to separate it this year. We haven't really pushed that a lot just because I knew we were going to be discussing this as well.
I think we have an excellent chance at the meeting. Adam, whoever gets up right after the keynote, right before the keynote, and then we have our most attendance, and explains a little bit of what we're doing. And then I think we need to explain the categories a tiny bit and just try to get people excited for it, because we got way too much apathy right now if we got one nomination. So I think it gives us an opportunity to make it sound, make it pump it up like it is. It's really cool. And, even in the beginning of the meeting, we talk about appreciation. We got a great appreciation meeting in this meeting here, but people tend to just not acknowledge people for doing their day-to-day job when it's very impressive in their day-to-day job. Just thinking back in the past year or so, all the crazy stuff we have in Colorado and the center that handled it and all that, we got to salute those people and thank them. And maybe they're hesitant to award themselves or nominate themselves or whatever, but I think it'd be a chance to go up there and really pump this up.
Well, they might still be busy handling the fallout and the aftermath of that, and maybe they're too busy to write nominations, which I totally understand.
Well, and we can really push it too, even with like the attendee bags and everything, putting a little flyer handout in there and pushing it all through the conference with different points. I think that would be really beneficial to get a lot of submissions.
Hey, we could use our fancy app.
Yep.
Ooh, push notifications.
Yep.
Sponsored by.
I wonder if we could use the app to take nominations.
I don't know. This is something that maybe Daryl or Bruce. I know that my understanding of the app, we at the very least we can have a spot that drives people or can link, if I understand correctly, to the documents. So we could have a pretty easy space on the app. I don't know if they do it through the app. Is that a fair statement, Daryl?
What we could do is if we turned those paper forms into like a Google form, we could have a link in the app to the Google form so they could fill it out on their phone. Otherwise, really, because it's in a Word, the forms are in Word doc format right now, it would be kind of difficult to do it on a phone.
Okay. Yeah, or even like, I don't know if there's a way to make an editable PDF version of it. I know a few years ago we did, I think maybe Tina did the awards or Raylene, one of the two did it via the Google form. Given that it sounds like at least one of the conference presentation submittals, if that's even a word, went somewhere weird. I've never had issues with forms not going through before, but I guess for me to know that you get, they're having to email it to me and they have a copy sometimes has been beneficial. But yeah, I agree. Maybe they also send an email while submitting the Google form could be pretty simple too, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
one thing you can do with a Google form too, if you want to make sure that they have a copy, is you can actually have it send them a copy by email right after they hit submit. So
correct, yeah.
If you want to look at potentially migrating those from a paper or Word doc format to a Google form, let me know and we can work on that together.
I think we should definitely do that for next year's conference submissions. I didn't know you could do that, but I think that's smart.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's a great idea.
Well, I guess just to circle back, I know there was in the chat, Kathy and Raylene, well, Kathy verbalized it, Raylene supported it. So I guess as far as this year's, I think March 4th, is that the Friday? I'd have to pull up a calendar. So we're a little less than a month out is when it was that first Friday in March, I think, where I had set the deadline, which would give us time to get the awards back, get them to Kansas. I haven't communicated any timeline to Kansas yet. So they're not going to be like chomping at the bit for them. So I'm fine if everyone's at least mostly in support. If we want to try moving it this year, we can. That would give me time. Daryl and I working together, we can get that stuff all migrated over. And for this year, they can submit the Google form or the Word doc, whatever. And then next year we can go fully to the Google form. I don't mind making some of those tweaks if we feel strongly we want to try breaking that out. And I think we're early enough. We just released the schedule that we can swap the award ceremony off and communicate that pretty clearly to people. So I'm fine either way, honestly.
So, and with the time frame being the initial topic of discussion, are there any other discussion points on moving the submission date to October for a December awards ceremony. Anything else that we need to discuss? I think putting it up to a motion for approval is going to be the best avenue at this point, but I wanted to make sure everybody's voice is heard as far as what they thought.
Well, I just had those concerns, but after listening to what everybody's saying, I think it'd be a good idea.
Is talking about nominations.
Raylene's right here too. She's
Elections,
listening
right?
in.
There's a camera.
Right here.
Hi, really.
Hi. Sorry, my channel is blowing up. I just wanted to confirm real quick, Kathy, that you were sent that I should have the nominations for elections, right?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted
Yeah, he just sent it, and I'm texting with the other person to let them know that they probably used the incorrect email address, and
Okay.
I sent them the updated one.
Okay. Yeah, and I tested the incorrect one and it gave me a bounce back, so I don't know what's going on with that. But I'll let you know if I don't get anything from your people.
Okay.
Thanks.
One is my people. One is somebody from another center.
Oh,
so
nice.
yeah.
Excellent.
Yep.
All right, I gotta go back.
Alrighty. She is a squirrel. Completely derailed my brain. Can I get a motion to approve moving the awards ceremony to December for this year?
This is Jennifer. I'll move.
Thank you, Jennifer. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Brad. All in favor of moving the award ceremony to December of this year, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Hi.
All opposed, same sign. Alrighty, the movement has been approved. We'll continue on with this, and like you guys were talking, Matt, we'll work out logistics as far as Google Form or however submissions are got to you, and then we'll really pump it up at the conference.
Excellent. Yeah, and I will work on making sure we get communication out early next week, probably just based on my timeline, if that's fine, or if someone wants to send, Adam, I don't know if you just want to send something out to the listservs and throw something up on Facebook in the interim to just say, hey, this big thing is coming, and be watching your email for future stuff. Like I said, I've gotten one submission. I will reach out to that agency directly and let the nominator know kind of what's going on. And then if anything else comes in, I'll kind of handle that case by case.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I've got a whole list of what I'm blasting out for the listserv, so I'll create a plan of getting everything pushed out.
You guys, I have one more question regarding the awards. Are we giving anything for the awards this year? Did we decide that and I missed it? Just curious.
I don't recall having a discussion about that, Kathy.
Okay.
Are you talking about financial awards, Kathy?
Yeah, financial. I mean, one year it wasn't it registration to the conference the next year? And then for a couple of years, we were just giving out, it was financial.
So
Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
yeah, and I know we discussed this last year, just knowing that we took away the financial gift to the chapter or the individual, just not knowing what last year's conference was going to bring. I don't think I personally heard any heartache about that. And as I've continued to think about it, this is my personal opinion, and I knew we'd probably end up talking about it at some point, but I think knowing that we give such nice physical awards and the ability to really highlight the winners, and maybe this is just me being a millennial, sometimes I don't know if the financial perk is necessary. And my personal opinion would be, let's save, even over the course of each year's awards, what does it end up being, between $500 and $1,000? And let's find other ways to give that back, whether it's conference scholarships outside of, you won an award, come to the conference for free, more education opportunities to the education committee. I don't know. I guess that's my personal feeling of, let's continue to reinvest in our chapter in better ways that maybe benefit the masses more than just a few people all the time. I think we do a good job, and especially if we're going to separate it, recognizing those people, talking about those people, giving them the physical award. But that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, and my 2 cents is that I think it's a hassle to keep track of who the award winners are and free conference registration and all of that. I do think we give out beautiful physical awards, and I would maybe be supportive of like a $50 gift card to each person, with maybe a $50 award for like the teams. But beyond that, I just think that we have so much to keep track of, and trying to keep track of, okay, well, now we're going to give this person free access to this and that and the other. It's a lot. So obviously we don't have to decide this right this minute, but I do think it's something we should have in our minds for when we solicit for nominations again. And maybe we should say, you know, each award winner gets a beautiful plaque and X, and that might help drive nominations. I don't know. My brain is fried.
It has been quite a week for a Friday conversation like this, but I agree. I think that we don't necessarily need to decide it right now, but something for everybody to think about as far as what that award means. Because I'm on the same page as Matt. I mean, the trophy is good enough for me. Again, maybe that's just the millennial in me speaking, but I think that having a cool rock to display for everybody to see is enough. But if somebody feels different, then we can definitely decide that as we get closer. And especially since the awards are now in December, we've got a few months to decide. Any other questions, comments, concerns on awards? Thank you, Jennifer and Matt, for bringing all that up and changing the course of this year's awards. It's going to be fun. Any other new business to discuss? Any old business to hash out? Anything that anybody has hanging out that they need to discuss? Hearing nothing, I think that it is time for everyone's favorite part of the meeting, the monthly dad joke for everyone. So why can't a cow wear sandals? Because they lactose.
Physically or single.
Ba-dum-bum.
Ba-dum-bum. Can I get a motion?
We're going to have to...
Don't quit your day job.
I'm going to send you my therapy bill.
Therapy bill. I will move that we adjourn on that excellent dad joke.
Thank you, Matt. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Kathy.
Honestly, watching your all's reactions to the dad joke is almost as good as the dad joke itself.
It is what drives my week, so I appreciate all of you. All right, everybody have a great day.
Love you guys.